lolpro.com. Lots of nice guides on there as well. If there's any champs on there you want to learn how to play, wonderful single guides from the pros helping you out whenever you need it. And so right now, Alistar, Morgana, and Shen are the bans from Mono. Curse, Cassiopeia, Olaf, still thinking about that last ban, but Rise will be the last one. Very targeted bans. And Lee Sin going to be the first pick from Mono. Very versatile jungler, or we may see him top lane. We don't know quite yet.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Lee Sin top lane. I'm actually expecting Lee Sin top lane because Zion's a very strong Lee Sin, and he's proven that continually throughout the tournament. And so, and I actually haven't seen Nintendo play too many Lee Sin, so it's still open in the air.
I mean, Lee Sin is actually on. He's third right now in the most banned in this tournament. Mm-hmm. The fact that they got him first pick, it's a very, very opportune pick for them right there.
But the thing is, you got to look at it this way too. Both Janna and Kog'Maw's open, so
yep.
The other top picks are still open.
We're getting shouts for we almost had. We did actually
have Cog.
Janna Cog. I saw the fiddle hovering over there for a second, but was not too far out of the question because in the third place match, remember, this is actually a rematch from our qualifiers. Our third place match was Curse Mono, and they actually ran Jungle Fiddle against them first match. And it worked out pretty well for them. And they may very well do it again. We'll have to see. Mm-hmm. So Kog'Maw, Janna, the first two picks for Curse. Hovering over Evelyn. I don't think that's quite going to happen.
It's called the counter troll.
It's called the counter troll.
I'm pretty sure it's Urgot.
And Urgot's been doing pretty good too. And you have the swap, you have the ultimate, you get people in position.
I feel like Urgot's a strong pick, especially because a standard item on Urgot is a Frozen Heart.
Yes.
And a non-standard item on Lee Sin is a Frozen Heart. So, you're always going to have that. When you have that Frozen Heart in a team fight against attack speed comp, which we don't really know if Curse is going to run, but Kog'Maw, a way to limit his damage is to limit his attack speed. And so, having Urgot getting that Frozen Heart is definitely going to help out no matter what.
And also, if you have a Lee Sin top lane, leave him to his own devices. Gets super tanky, Warmogs, Atma's, Frozen Mallet. He just becomes near unkillable. But remember, we still have two more picks to go for Mono. They could still swap Lee Sin in a jungler. It's very open right now.
I'm definitely feeling Lee Sin top at this point, just because, I've seen Zion Spartan play enough Lee Sin that I'm pretty confident that he wants Lee Sin top.
Do we have the Galio pick? Waiting for it. Just want to confirm we have Galio Vladimir for Curse right now. So that's our mid and top.
That's
decided
actually a very,
right
very
there.
strong pick. Vlad, I feel like, is just an overall well-rounded champion, and really Vlad Galio, a double AP. Galio is going to be able to protect Kog'Maw with his bulwark, and if he lands a well-placed ultimate, that would almost guarantee that Vlad's going to land a well-placed ultimate as well. So,
and Vladimir, he's a little bit more safe to pick now because they have banned out Olaf. They do know that Olaf, Vlad, I mean, it's a little bit more in Olaf's favor. Gragas, a possibility for Mono. Gragas, Galio mid. We got Rumble as well. We could still be seeing Lee Sin in the jungle, but we still got a few seconds. We gotta wait for the confirmation here. We have also been seeing Riven a little bit in jungle as well.
I feel like Riven Lee Sin would be a good combo. Riven jungle, Lee Sin top.
We got Gragas. We got the Fat Man in mid lane, and we've multiple supports. We've been seeing that a little bit from Dignitas.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where Janna would go if they pick Sona.
I honestly don't think they're going to pick Sona.
Well, even if they do, I mean, we'll have to see what other positions they still have yet. They still have yet to fulfill a jungler. Could see Jax. We got Jax.
So it's going to be. It's going to be Jax jungle.
Oh, I am such a massive Jax fan. I really am. He was like my first champion that actually really started picking up.
He is a pretty big badass. He's got that lamppost, and really, if you give him a sword, imagine what he can do, right?
Jax, he's got a lamppost, he's got a counterattack, and he doesn't afraid of anything in the jungle, especially.
This is actually the first time I've seen Jax used in any type of competitive environment, so I'm very interested to see how well he's going to perform. Jax naturally is going to do well against Riven Lee Sin because
Right.
even though they're a spellcaster, they do quite a lot of right click. So he can get in there, he does a lot of disruption, and really, as a jungler, if Jax can get to late game and just gets a lot of damage, he's gonna do a lot. He's gonna be able to do a lot. He's definitely not gonna be as tanky as other junglers, but in terms of damage, he's probably the highest damage jungler late game.
Jax is definitely not the tank that he used to be. They did rework him pretty recently, so he doesn't get that bonus health off the AD and AP. But once he gets his items going, you get a gunblade on him. You get a whole other slew of items on him. He becomes pretty dangerous really quick.
I feel like for some reason Mundo would be a better pick than Jax. However, I'm gonna keep an open mind. Like the reason that I think Mundo would be a better pick is because a lot of his damage would be magic damage and is not hindered by attack speed, right? If he's trying to do damage, he's going to be doing it with Burning Agony and with Infected Cleavers. However, Jax is going to be really reliant on a lot of right-clicking, getting his Relentless Assault off. However, one core item of Urgot is a Frozen Heart. So right there, you're already going to be hindered. So let's see how he plays out.
All right, so I'm looking here at the lanes. I think Lee Sin would be a pretty good target. Top and bottom should be pretty good targets for Jax. He does well against physical carries. Not sure if he's going to be ganking mid that much.
Yeah. So I think Lee Sin's going to be able to beat Vlad just from personal matchup, but really it's going to come down to a skill matchup as well. So if either team gets a lot of jungle pressure, I feel like Lee Sin can definitely still win because Riven is going to be a really good ganker. She's got a really good gap closer and she's got a stun. And one thing Lee Sin can do is if he can land a resonating strike before Vlad uses his pull, immediately when he comes out, he's going to be able to close that distance and kill him too. So I think it's going to be partially a skill matchup and 2 jungle pressure. However, I feel that Mono has better jungle pressure.
So I think we have a little bit of difficulty here in launching the game. It's kind of So client, we do a little bit of the issue with client. We're gonna get everyone back in here real quick. Just gonna remake the game as quick as we can. But you know what? We also have to talk a little bit about Gragas. Because I believe Reggie plays a little bit of Gragas. Where does Gragas excel in mid?
I feel like Gragas, with their comp, I feel like he's going to be able to poke pretty well. If they want to hard engage, he's going to be able to knock them out. I feel like it's a little bipolar with the Riven Lee Sin engage. So if he's going to use his Gragas appropriately, he's going to have to use it to blow up Galio's ultimate. And he's got to save his ult for that. That way, Vlad and Gragas cannot combo both their ultimates. And really, once they start and engage with that and he's not caught, he can probably knock Galio or Vlad or maybe 1 or 2 other people back and 1 or 2 people forward. And then Riven and Lee Sin should be able to rip them apart. Yeah. That's the ideal situation. But so I don't really see him using his ultimate right off the bat.
But he is capable of bursting down quite a bit.
Yes.
And that ult, ridiculously low cooldown later on in the game. It's just, you just throw it, it comes back like 40 seconds. You don't even really use it for the pushback, it's just pure
it's about
damage.
36 seconds once you're at max CDR.
Right, so
I think my client's frozen. I got to quit out of the client completely and get back in.
I think I may have to do the same real quick as well. So while we resolve a few issues here on our end, I think we're just going to go to a quick commercial break, get the game back up, and we shall be back in a moment with Game 1, Mono versus Curse. This is IPL 4. This game is loading up shortly, and just to review real quick the picks and the bans, Mono has decided to ban out Alistar, Morgana, and Shen. They've taken for themselves Lee Sin, Taric, Urgot, Riven, and Gragas. Curse has decided to ban out Cassiopeia, Olaf, Rise, and picked Kog'Maw, Janna, Galio, Vladimir, and my favorite, Jax. I'm so excited for Jax. Ah.
I feel like depending on how well he does, is going to set the tone for how people feel about Jax. So
yeah,
let's see.
Like, we haven't seen too much of Jax since the remake. I mean, there's still a little bit of a tweaking period after the remake.
I feel like overall, The remake is a slight nerf to Jax. In terms of like dueling one-on-one, having the stun to proc whenever is very, very convenient. But in a group environment, just having that dodge just continually come up and just protect him is way better than just having that 1 second of dodge where he's completely invincible. So, the amount of dodge you get is probably about 30-something%. And so, you extrapolate that through the entire duration of his Counter-Strike. I feel like, it's a slight nerf. That's why he's just fallen out of popularity completely.
And Dodge was removed from the game not too long ago, and it was Jax's thing. It was his big thing. And Ninja Tabby, the rework with that was also with the removal of Dodge. I know Ninja Tabby was really popular pre-change on champions like Udyr. Was there? Don't get me wrong, I do miss Dodge a little bit. I miss Jax being a little OP just because just go into like normal games and have a whole bunch of fun. But yeah, I think overall changes are a little bit for the better. I mean, he's still like the anti-tanky DPS a little bit. We have Lee Sin, we have Riven. He's going to be there dodging everything they have to offer and then retaliating as appropriate.
I feel like even against Lee Sin Riven, he's going to be able to dodge some. They're going to auto-attack in between.
Yeah.
However, I feel like Lee Sin and Riven and Urgot are actually heavy caster AD. Urgot is pretty much a caster AD. He's casting spells most of the time. Of course, he's going to be right-clicking in between. Riven, every time he hits his Q, that's casting a spell too. Of course, he's going to right-click in between, but in terms of mitigating damage with his Counter-Strike, he's not going to be mitigating a whole lot because really the time between each auto-attack is you got to cast, auto-attack, cast, auto-attack, and the duration of the counter-attack is not going to help him too much against Mono's team comp. So that's my biggest concern. The second concern for Jax is he was a very, very later pick, and knowing you're going to be picking into a very, very tanky anti-attack speed comp, primarily naming Urgot that's going to get the Frozen Heart, I felt like he could have picked Mundo, which would be a better pick as well.
Now we've seen Mundo a lot during this tournament.
For good reason.
Yeah, for really good reason. He's actually second most picked overall so far this weekend. What makes Mundo so great?
The thing with Mundo is he's got very, very high effective health. He's just got, you couple him with a team, say like a Tarek or a Soraka that can provide him some sort of armor, and he scales off of health. Every time he uses his ultimate, he heals a percentage of his health. So stacking a lot of health is just very, very beneficial to him. And so he gets to the point where when he gets enough resist and health, it's just very, very hard to kill.
So we are now in the game. Mono on blue side, Curse on purple side. And right now, big man of the show so far is going to be Jax.
Oh, that's a sexy skid.
Look at that.
That is a sexy skid.
I do like PAX Jax myself. It's one of my favorite skins. Shout outs also to anyone over at PAX right now watching us.
So, you're looking at both teams, and they're both kind of heading towards the bottom side. So I'm a little curious if there's going to be a clash. You see Mono pinging into their tribe rush at bottom, and so it looks like they would want to make a swing over to their blue. And Tarek really just warded their own blue, so they're covering both sides. So no matter what, I feel like Mono wants to control blue buff this game.
Curse not aware right now of where Mono is.
This could be another COG, I feel. This could be.
I think they saw it. They saw their pinging. They know to retreat. But pings are going down for Mono. He's going to go ahead and back off. They were spotted a little bit earlier than they wanted to be. Just going to go ahead and play it safe.
I think had they waited a little bit longer and waited for them to back out, they could have had a really good jump because, if you look at to the left of blue, there's a ward, and really there's no real warning that Mono's going to be invading.
Oh, actually, no, Mono, they're going to retry their approach, but this is warded. They see Zion Spartan, they know to back off. CV also going down from Pixel just to see where everyone from Curse is. And they've seen they've known they've scattered just a little bit.
So this is basically a free blue for Mono. It feels like Curse does not want to contest. They don't have an incredibly strong level 1 team fight. You have Riven, you have Tarek. Whoever they catch is basically gonna die, and that's one thing Curse doesn't want to do. You know, they measure themselves up against the other comp, and they know that they cannot win the level 1 team fight. So it's better safe than sorry. They're just going to give up the blue buff, and they're just going to head and get red and probably apply pressure top immediately.
I'm going to be following Jax quite a bit because I actually kind of want to use that build a little bit for myself when I hit some normal games later on in the week. But Night Jackie taking his spot in mid, going to be facing up against Gragas. Run by Paradoxical. We have a little bit extra magic resist. I mean, that's Galio's thing. He stacks magic resist. He gets a little bonus from that. So Gragas is going to be slightly less effective, but still he's got the. We have two like very big on range.
I feel like Gragas should do fine in this matchup, just because he's got a lot of heal from his passive. Every time he casts a spell, he heals a percentage of his health, and Galio's not going to be pressuring him too much. And if he really needs to wave clear, he's going to be able to just throw those barrels out and kill it rather quickly.
And he seemed to be pretty content. They seem to be passive farming to start with at the very least. And Lee Sin top lane getting a little bit of attempting to harass Pobelter on Vladimir. Not a whole lot of success there, but eventually Crumbs will meander down to his blue area and find that they have indeed taken it for themselves.
Oh, if you look at Crumbs, he's really, really low health. As a jungler, you really don't want to be that low.
Right.
If he bumps into Riven right now, he's going to be in big trouble. So I think that's the biggest problem about Jack's jungle. You're jungling at a very, very low hit point all the time until you get some decent amount of lifesteal. So that's definitely a worry or a concern that I'd have for Jax, or playing him at least in the jungle.
And you know what, this is also a problem for him before the rework as well, because I mean, dodge was a semi-random mechanic. If you just had a bad run, you could be ridiculously low on health when you go for your first few initial ganks. You may just decide to go back, but Nintendude sneaking into the top bush.
I don't see this kill converting just because the lane is pressured so hard. The next wave is going to collide at tower before they all die. So I feel like Vlad isn't going to be far out enough for Riven to gank effectively. So he's going to either waste a lot of time, or he's just going to give it up very, very soon.
I feel Zion's actually pushing a little bit too hard at the moment. He's forcing him back to tower, not really opening up the possibility for Nintendo to come on in for the attempt.
I feel like Riven should have known that the lane pressure is going to be that strong, that he's not going to be able to gank unless he's going to wait around. So I feel like he's overcommitted. He's waited so long that he feels that he needs to wait it out until he has an opportunity.
Wait, well, we have an opportunity. Here we go. Comes out of the bush, gets a stun in on Pobelter. Lots of damage going down there. He tries to get the last hand to pull it. Yes, we get the first one under tower. Okay, you know what? Waiting was worth it.
That was worth it. That was definitely worth it. One thing that you guys didn't notice was the Riven land the stun on Vlad, so that this allowed him from pulling out of Resonating Strike. So Lee Sin had already landed the Resonating Strike, so the moment Vlad gets out of pull, he's able to just follow up that kick and kill him immediately. So it was just one thing I talked about. You know, if you're gonna proc your Resonating Strike on Vlad before he pulls, it's gonna hurt him, because when he gets out of pull, he's automatically 20% less health. Because when you use your pull, you lose a significant amount of health.
Mono was actually waiting for Pobelter to come back into lane, but Nintendo taking a little bit too much damage from the tower. But look who's here to save the day. Crumbs is coming around. They still have one tower to get past. Nintendo, he's waiting for the minion wave to come in so he doesn't take those tower hits. But here comes Jax. We're going to see how effective this can be. Zion Spartan in the way. We got the counter spell. We got the stun on Zion Spartan near tower. And Riven comes in with the stun. Crumbs getting queued and kicked. Not a whole lot there, but you know, he's able to help push him away a little bit further. And Paradoxical, knowing that Jax is not around, going to go ahead and steal those wraiths. So it's like a mono bot lane is being a little bit pushed by Curse, but we've seen Curse recently be very aggressive in how they push lanes, how they play the laning phase. So would it? Where should they be at right about now? Would it be in their best interest to start pushing lanes? Should they play more defensive?
I feel like Curse shouldn't be pressing as hard just because Riven is such a better ganker than Jax. When you have a weak ganker, you lose a lot of lane control everywhere. And that kind of almost makes it so every lane has to play more safe, because you know, if you have a face-off, say a jungler ganks, right, and your jungler ganks at the same time, both teams gank at once, the team with the weaker jungler is almost always going to lose.
So and Jax, we've talked about this before. He really does. He's a little bit more mid-late game. He needs his items to be a little bit more effective as a jungler. Not to say he isn't fantastic as is. He's got a solid stun now post rework. He can close gaps with the leap strike. But it seems that right now Nintendo does have a little bit of an edge with that assist. And right now Paradoxical is actually walking down, but he is spotted very briefly. In the river.
I think he came down as the pink ward expired. So,
yes.
When the ward expires, it actually leaves a shadow. So he saw that they saw him. So I actually told him, all right, they know I'm coming. I should just go back.
So the blue being given to Nijaki, but the red potential steal from Nintendo, bringing the lizard into the bush. So when Jax comes around, he's not going to know quite as much, but he's actually going to go for the Wraiths instead.
They're just going to camp there because Jax doesn't know that he's red camp. So naturally, where are you going to go next? You're going to go to your red camp. So this could be a very dangerous position for Jax right here. He's going to be none the wiser.
Nijaki being a little bit defensive, saves first down bot
Oh,
lane,
this is really bad bot.
Nijaki has teleported. He's got the ult. We got Pixel stuck in the taunt. He's not going to be able to get away very easy. He doesn't have the heal on himself.
There's no way.
There's no way he's going to be able to get away from this. And you know what? He's just going to go ahead and sacrifice himself so Zig can get away.
That was actually very, very good that he teleported. One thing that you guys probably didn't recognize is Spartan and Riven was camping to kill Jax. However, since Galio left to go kill bottom, there's a huge wave coming mid. So naturally, Jax would go to mid to hold the lane and farm that. Had Galio didn't gank, or not gank, Jax would have just been on his way to farming and maybe just like walk into his jungle and get ganked that way.
It's just a nice turn of events, fortunate events to prevent a nice little Jax death. But we got a kill. We got a kill for Curse, so it's 1-1 even gold. 9 minutes in.
So this is actually the turning point where Jax can start jungling. He's a very, very weak jungler at 3-6. Just because of the huge steroid and attack steroid and damage that he gets from the lightning strike. So right now he's going to be able to catch up to the jungle.
Being chunked out. Pixel isn't here. We have a quick heal to help top him off, and he will be at tower, chugging the health pot just so he can go back to town. 200 health left on him. We're not going to see any aggression.
So Jax actually just checked his red right now. He teleported in his brush, so it's very fortunate that he didn't go in there early.
Giant Spartan actually taking a little bit of a hint from Dyrus, just going straight for the tower, not caring about anything else. The next wave coming around in, and Pixel, Nintendo down a bot, trying to fend off this wave. But you know what? This tower is going to fall here for mono. Top tower gone.
Oh, this is really dangerous for him. He's not going to have the creep to jump back. He's going to die.
So that's where he's going to be able to get away, but no, the Vlad ult will finish him off.
I felt like it was just a waste of Summers right there. Yeah. I was almost certain he was going to die. I think if I was in his situation, I probably would just, I'm dead. I'm going to save my Summers.
So now Curse is up 1 kill. Gold's still pretty even at the moment. Pobelter's going to be able to farm a little freely, push the tower. And we got some counter warning going on from Curse. Pink ward into the tri-bush. And we haven't seen too much action going on in mid. And Galio 101, Gragas 91. So we've got a 10 creep lead on him right now. So that does translate into a fair amount of gold. But it's still a little bit early on. We have the Chalice here on Galio. So he's got that mana regen. He's got that extra magic resist. Which
Galio should be able to win against Gragas in the early mid, at least break even. And so I'm not surprised that he's a little bit ahead. Just because when there comes to a poke exchange, I feel like Galio is going to come out ahead every time.
Paradoxical now coming back to mid with the blue. He's got the extra mana regen he needs to get his farm on. And his bot lane once again. Still, we got a nice little wave pushing from Mono to that tower. How's Curse's tower doing? It's still full health right at the moment. Jax Crumbs covering in the mid while Galio went to town. What did he pick up for himself? He got himself a Negatron cloak to help reduce some of the damage Gragas is going to be putting on him. Pobelter's Spartan back up top lane farming, and Jax.
I'm curious as to whether he's building a Banshee or an Abyssal. Or that could be a Kindle gem. Just The thing with Galio, there's so many different ways to build him, and really he benefits from so many different items that it comes down to what you feel is the better build order based on team comp.
So right now Curse is attempting Dragon with the CC. Mono knows that Nintendo's moves here, trying to do something about it. So Mono, the Dragon does fall. Curse gets it. Mono just decides to back off. They have secured that for themselves.
I'm kind of curious why they have 2 pink wards and the same location.
Well, it's insurance. Just
It's
insurance.
You saw what happened with Sai in the back last time.
We did. So Pobelter, while Lee Sin was away, got the free fall a little bit, and he got the ward, knowing when he's going to be back up top in lane. And now it's a lot. There's a little bit of passivity now as we're reaching a little bit into mid game. Oh, actually, Curse. Pobelter from Curse getting kicked into tower range by Zion Spartan.
Zion. If he sticks around, he's gonna die.
You got the ult from Vladimir coming down. How much will we be able to do with that once that finishes? It's going to be a fair deal, but Nintendo Dex is here. Pobelter will just walk away, but actually Paradoxal may have something different to say about that. Is his ult up? Yes, it is. Going to be meeting in the bush. Can we bring him back? Pool's going down.
I'm
Not
a
going to
little
engage
worried about
that.
Lee Sin. Under normal circumstances, or had they been even in farm, if Curse didn't get Dragon, Vlad wouldn't be as big of a problem. But since he did get all that farm advantage, Lee Sin's going to have an increasingly tougher time up top. He's gonna need that Hex Drinker if he's going to do anything soon. So, that's an item they're going to have to look forward to him getting very soon.
When Hex Drinker, fantastic. I've always enjoyed Hex Drinker, but actually no drums, jumping out of Zion Spartan, getting a little bit of damage while he can. Quick stun, all those procs. That's a little bit of extra damage every few attacks he gets there with his ultimate. It gets a little bit tankier too if he decides to use the active as well, so once we start hitting those team fight stages.
I'm actually very worried for Mono at this point. They have comps, they have lanes where they're supposed to win by a decently large margin, and they're not winning. And so when you're not winning in a comp that you're built for early game with, when it drags to late game and you have a weaker comp, it's gonna double snowball against you. So give it another 10-15 minutes. I feel like Curse is just gonna pull way ahead. So I'm a little nervous for Mono at this point.
And we've seen Curse play the slow game, play the snowball game before. So about 30 minutes in, how much of an advantage will Curse be having over Mono?
I feel like in about you give it another 3 to 5 minutes, the gold's gonna increase to about, they're about 300 right now. It's not that big, but they're gonna be able to secure another Dragon very soon. They should be able to drop a tower within the next 3 or 4 minutes. So, you extrapolate that like 10 more minutes, they should be about like 2 or 3K, and then from then on, it's just gonna come down to team fighting. Really, if Curse breaks even, they're winning.
Nintendo being spotted in the bot river. There is a ward in that bush. Going to be going in here on Galio. Cannot get the stun. Just decides to not use it. Will decide to back off. Nijaki has to stay by tower just for the time being. And once again, still bot lane. A little bit passive. Everyone's at full health. No one's trying to...
They're scared.
They are scared.
Because the Galio gank,
which
can happen again right now. Galio, I'm almost sure he's going to come behind.
Tornado canceling it. The Urgot all being blown back into tower 6, taking quite a bit of turret damage. And we got Nijaki in here with the taunt. Elements does go down, but so will Zig. Nijaki in the thick of it. And actually Curse gets the ties turned a little bit. It was a successful
it was very
attempt
successful game
from Mono.
It was a 4v3.
It was a 4v3. Even though the swap got canceled from the Tornado, Mono was still able to get an extra kill out of that. And top lane, Zanzibar once again.
It would have been very, very dire for Mono if Jax was there from the beginning. He'd be able to output a lot of damage during that time. Because, it's almost expected that Galio is going to teleport behind, but since Gragas was able to get there before Galio even got there, even with teleport, Mono was able to lay out enough damage that when it became a 3v4 fight, it wasn't worth it for Crumbs to come back in, because he probably would have died too.
Yeah, Zion Spartan is definitely a little bit of a predicament here, top lane. We saw Pobelter just deal massive damage to him under his own tower. He had the Hex Drinker proc, and just stopped. He's like, you know what? Oh, you have a shield. I'm just going to stop for a minute. And he's going to be in real big trouble very soon. And we already have the Woda. He's going to be building up more AP while he's just racking up that gold. Pixel doing a little bit of offensive warding, but he was spotted by Curse, so they know that area is warded. We do not have an Oracles on Curse just yet, though. No pink wards either. But Mono, we actually got 3 members of Mono in mid pushing up the tower. But immediately the wave cleared by Galio, so they're going to have to back off. And Zion Spartan back up in top lane. He is back at full. But I think we're starting to see Mono group up here.
I feel like they want to group up because just because of the pressure up top, I feel like Lee Sin just doesn't have a way of dealing with Vlad at this point. Just because he's so underleveled, so underfarmed, that he can't have a fair matchup against Vlad. So when that happens, you need to force it in a way where your team can help you out. So that's why they're grouping up and they're trying to take objectives and pull the advantage back into each Mono's players. So that would help out Zion Spartan if they can stop Vlad from farming, allow him to farm a little bit more.
Like if you're losing a lane, one of the best things you can do is join up with the rest of your team, start taking objectives, things like towers and dragon and buffs and things of that nature. But now we see dragon spawning it now. Mono and Curse, everybody's here for the party. Galio ult is up, but Flash is not.
Like a big thing about Galio is he needs his Flash to land a very good ultimate. Since that is down, it's going to be very, very hard for him to land a well-placed ultimate. So if he's not able to land a well-placed ultimate, it's going to be very, very bad for Curse.
Lots of ultimates are up. We're going to see. We got the engage. Curse, Nightjack can get the taunt off. Every member of Mono Elements is in back. We got a lot of characters here. Very low health. Cobalt goes down. Vladimir's down. Galio's down. Tarek is down. Elements being brought out here. Drums up in front trying to make a bunch of damage. He is an absolute wonder right now, taking down Zion Spartan as well. Nintendo X is the last man alive that they will not decide to engage. That is a 4-4-2 favor Curse.
That was a very, very big fight for Curse. I felt like they could have saved CDs to blow up Galio's ult, but he was able to just basically walk in the middle of 4 of them and just hit R and allowed Pole Belter to also hit R and just lay out massive, massive amounts of damage on everybody. Even though they died, they were able to do enough damage where both Jax and Kog'Maw was able to clean up. And I felt like Janna should have been a little bit further behind to Tarek should have been further enough behind where he can just stun him and cancel out the ultimate instantly.
I think you saw all of Mono go right in towards the Dragon Pit. They're just all bundled up. It was like a nice present for Curse. It's like signaling them, it's like we're all in one big clump at Galio. Please,
they basically just funneled into Galio. Didn't even bother CCing him, and he was able to.
I am not a big fan of this right now, but Curse is a little bit scattered right now, and we've seen Mono do plays like this before, where they just try and take Baron whenever they can. We got 2 members of Curse here. We got Galio on the way. His ult is down.
This is dangerous for both teams.
Well, we got the barrel coming in from Gregus. Nightjacket comes, flashes in, and Pixel actually being focused immediately, getting chunked out huge. Tornado will pop him up. Zig falls. We got 3 members of Mono down at Baron. Clean up from Curse. That's right there. But Mono did take the Baron, so we got Zion Spartan with the buff. We got a little bit of gold for him, but still, Curse has a 1k advantage in gold. I don't know.
That's actually not too much for how many kills they have over Mono. So, in terms of gold, 4 kills equals Baron. So they're not too far behind. The only thing you really lose is you're going to lose global objectives afterwards. So if there's Dragon up, if there's Towers up, having 4 members down means they're free to take Towers, they're free to take Dragons. Given they only took 1, but losing that fight actually only, the loss of that fight for Mono is 1 experience, and 2, that 1 tower. So in terms of how much it hurt them taking that Baron, it wasn't as bad as one might think.
So I mean, it still felt really early for me. It felt like almost sort of a desperation move.
It was a desperation move. They had just gotten a 4v4 fight, and they'd lost that, and if that happened again, they felt like they need to make something happen. The thing with this game is, if you know you're not going to do well into late game, you need to make plays. And so that's what Mono did. happened to not work out as favorably as they thought it would be. I felt like Paradoxical could have saved his ultimate a little bit longer and used it on Curse when there's more players, because he single ulted Jax.
Yep.
And really,
Yeah,
I felt like, Jax was a priority to ult away. Had he gotten a little closer, it's more prudent to just have Tarek stun him and kill him instead of knocking him out.
Traveling as a group to the top lane, and the barrel not going to be doing anything to Builder because he did pull, and Night Jackie is back here in the neighborhood. Ult is up. Will he do it again? Waiting for the positioning. Can he get what he needs? Ult is down. He actually was canceled. Builder's now in the fray. Elements blows everyone back with the ult. Now Zion Spartan is out in front, but Crumbs is here. Here comes Jax. Ready to clean up. Can he get a kill? Zion Spartan is out in the back, trying to take all damage. Leaf Strike going to Paradoxical. Belly's over the wall. Will he be able to get away? He gets a little bit of health from the pass, and Curse backs off.
I am very surprised not a single person died. I felt like if Crumbs had a better Counter-Strike, if he had procced it before he even leaped, that would have been a free stun on 2 or 3 people, and that would have been an extra 1 or 2 kill. So, Counter-Strike is definitely easier to hit now, but you gotta be prepared for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a waste on the barrel, but they did a good job canceling the ult from Galio. I was waiting for it, like, where is it? It's like, oh, the cooldown's done.
I think it was Riven that actually jumped in to stun Galio, because Tarek was caught in Galio's ult, but Riven was doing a QQQ stun or knock-up, a mini knock-up from his Q.
And it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit, but it's enough to cancel ults like Galio's.
Yeah.
So Mono now taking what they can, all 5 members together pushing up mid, doing what they can.
It's not a bad time for them to push. They know that Curse had recently just blew all their ultimate. So at least 1 or 2 is down. So Curse does not want to fight without their ultimates. They're an AoE-centric team, and without that, they're just greatly, in terms of killing power, behind. So,
and not to mention Zion Spartan, he still has the Baron buff, albeit just for a little while longer. Just a few more seconds, Baron buff will go away. So you might as well take advantage of it while they still can. They managed to take a tower, they backed out, and it's still fairly even. And
so, right now, Cog is actually getting pretty strong. He's got a CS and he's got 165. He's got some global objectives. He's got some kills. So with that range that Mono doesn't have, he's going to be able to just poke that tower freely. So this is that point in the game where Curse wants to start sieging, wants to start taking down towers and looking for favorable team fights.
So we do have actually Nintendo away from Mono. He's doing a little bit of business up top, a little bit of housekeeping up there, and Curse sticking together full 5, and Dragon is up once again. CG going down from Mono. They know they're there. Wards first covering their tracks just to see if they decide to engage, and they will not.
That was pretty much free Dragon.
It's pretty much, yeah.
I think at this point, depending on how much gold they have, they might want to just go back by or finish off their items and just start looking for towers. They still need to take top towers, still need to take bottom towers, so they might send like 2 or 3 top, 1 or 2 bottom, and start looking for tower kills, because that's going to extend their gold lead and map position. And when you're stronger, you need to start warding up and start taking objectives.
And if you go ahead, just swoop in. Top tower is ridiculously low. Bot tower is about halfway through. Just go in, sweep those 2 towers. You're just going to extend your lead that much more. And buy yourself, go ahead, something. You're going to buy yourself something nice. We actually almost have the Frozen Heart on Galio, who just bought it right there. So he's going to be reducing attack speed. You got a little bit extra cooldown reduction on him. So he's going to have his ult a lot quicker. He's going to have everything a little bit quicker. I do want to take a look at Jax's build so far. It looks like we're going to be going to Trinity Force pretty soon. We got the Phage, we got the Zeal, so we should be having that. We also have a Wriggles on him as well, so if once Baron comes back up again,
he's going to be able to do Baron very, very fast with Jax. He's one of those champions where you let him get to where he needs to be, he's going to be a very, very good problem. And it's getting to that point. You give him another 10 minutes, he's going to be able to jump into 5 people and just be massive.
Night Jackie getting a flash in, but he only gets Pixel in the middle of that, but he is far behind. But here comes Jax, here comes Crumbs trying to do what he can. Tarek does fall. Paradoxical has to flash over the wall. Vladimir ult finish on everyone, and Elements flashes out in front, gets the ultimate to blow away a few members of Mono, but I don't think they're going to be able to catch Zig. He's got the shield, he's going to be taking a few shots of Cobalt while he's running away, but Curse is actually still chasing this.
They can actually dive it.
They could.
It's a very, very low risk fight. they know that Mono's players are all sub 30%, so they have to go back to base. So, you know, there's really no risk of diving the outer tower or to take it at this point.
Yeah, why we were talking before, you gotta get those outer towers, gotta get those objectives, and he's got that and a little bit extra gold for themselves. 6K gold lead right now for Curse. Giant Spartan doing what farming he can do in the mid while everyone is away. Have to clear the minion wave at bottom just to make sure it doesn't push anymore. And I think it's about that time we might want to be prepping for Baron once again.
Yeah, Baron should be up within the next minute and a half. So,
but we already have the ward coverage.
Oh, it's up right now.
It is up right now. Oh, just in time. Just in time. So we have ward coverage. Pretty good ward coverage here from Curse.
Curse is getting really, really good coverage.
And we got this Leap Strike over into the pit, and Curse will actually start on Baron right now. Giant Spartan is here. He knows, but he might be singled out just a little bit. Nintendo's here. Mono, they need to hurry up. This Baron halfway through. Jackie is out in front. Ultimate is down on Galio, so he doesn't have that taunt.
Ultimate is down, so it is a little bit dangerous, but they are
he
far
kicks
enough.
Jax out of the pit, but he Leap Strikes back in onto the ward, and Mono has stolen Baron, but will they be able to get away? They just might. Pixel putting the heels down on himself, Nintendo covering for Giant Spartan, but he will die as well.
That wasn't too bad. I'd give up 2 kills for Baron, but they're probably going to lose mid-tower. And it was just really, really bad timing to jump out because Ribbon basically just jumped in and was like, oh, there's nobody here to smite Baron. Let's finish it off.
I mean, I do enjoy the kick from Lee Sin to Jackson. Get out of my pit. No, I'll just jump right back to the sword. I'm not leaving. It was just a quick.
It was actually a very, very good kick. It allowed Ribbon to get an uncontested Baron. You know, you can't smite outside of the pit, so it allowed Ribbon to just not worry about Jax being able to steal it over him.
So Mono, they got 3 members of their team right now with Baron. A little bit better than the last time they got it. You know, they only had Zion Spartan. They only had 1 member. What can they do with this? Can they pressure any towers in the state that they're in right now, knowing how far ahead Curse is?
I feel like they can't, just because Vlad's going to be able to clear waves instantly, and then Cog's going to be able to poke from the back. So I'm still very, very worried for Mono. It's one of those games, you know, like, you know how I was talking about COG where you need to make a pick to make something happen? I feel the same way about Mono and their current comp. You know, they have the tools to make it happen. They have Gragas to knock somebody back. They have Urgot to swap somebody back. Now they just need Curse to make a mistake and split up and fight them and find them like 5v3, 5v2, or Gib 1 and take objectives.
We did see Mono ping 3rd tier tower in mid. I think they were considering. They're considering pressuring it down, but I think they're just going to go ahead, play defensive a little bit more. They have their jungle creeps they can still farm off of, and we got a nice. This top is actually still ripe for the taking from Curse if they want to sweep in.
I'm pretty sure it's going to drop within the next 30 seconds, just because you see Cog heading there, Vlad's heading there as well. Yep. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to die right after this wave.
Belter's just going to go ahead and take that wave. Tower should fall soon after that. We got 4 members of Mono in the mid with Nintendo a little bit behind, but yeah, we got the minion wave top tower. Tier 1 will fall, so Curse has gotten that one for themselves. And Mono, we got a nice little Congo line here going through their own jungle to top lane. It seems they're just a little bit late to the party every time. You know, we got all these objectives. They're showing up like just in time as the door closes. So it seems like Curse is just 1 step ahead of them this entire game.
Curse is also playing a little bit cautious too. They even though they know they have a strong team comp, they know they're ahead. They don't want to risk fighting the other team with all their Baron buff stuff. So they're also playing a little cautious. I feel like at this point it's Curse's game to lose.
I got scared for a second there because I thought Paradoxical was going to go ahead, dash in, and throw a barrel on the Jax, but it seems that is not the case. How much time we got left on the Baron buff? We got about 25% left, a little bit less than that. We do have Pixel. He's got an Oracle. He's going to do some counter warding, and then Curse is in the neighborhood. Target being put down on Gragas. I want to make sure they can kill him next team fight. So he can't do that damage, can't do that ult, can't do that barrel. But Nightjack is here. Nintendo being singled out from the rest of the team. Crumbs kind of 1v1ing here for a second, and it's actually Nintendo running from all of Curse, trying to get away. Will he be able to do it? That tower's down. It's not looking good. Nintendo caught out. That's rough, and just being separated from your teams like that little feeling of helplessness.
Curse has really good map coverage. If you look at their ward positions, they've gotten all the major areas covered. So when Mono,
the whole Paradoxical actually being singled out a little bit by Crumbs, we got the stun going down. We got the barrel to
he
shove.
He can go into the pit and flash over. He can still go into the pit.
Can he get it? Will he do it? Yes, he will. We got the taunt. Paradoxical come in. Zyasparta walks right into it, and Paradoxical will melt immediately. And Zyasparta will not be too far behind. 2 quick kills from Curse, courtesy of the Galio Flash ult. So now the Curse is in a pretty good spot right now. We got a sizable wave here in mid. They can just go ahead and clear this out. They can take out this tier 3 tower pretty easy.
They do have 32 seconds from 2 of their biggest players, so it's pretty much a free tower and inhib. This tower should drop in under 10 seconds. And inhib, it's going to drop within like 5 to 10 seconds. So
actually, we got the slop coming in from Urgot, but it's not going to be doing all too much. Not the best defense in the world, but the ult from Vlad just as a nice little bit of insurance.
I feel like
the inhibitor going. This may be game. This if they decide to push it, they're just going to go ahead and play it safe.
They're definitely playing it safe. If you look at Jax's mana, he doesn't have any mana. He's not going to be able to leap strike and counter strike. So they are taking it a little bit slow. So, you know, like I said, this is Curse's game to lose. If they're so far ahead, all they need to do is play safe and take towers one at a time. Wait for Baron, take that too, and push slowly. Have super creeps come down mid and just apply pressure. And if they want to fight, I feel like Curse can just all hit their R and face roll their face across the keyboard and just kill everybody at this point.
So we have this slow push now coming in from Curse. Their sizable lead allows them to just go in, take objectives, get out, and remain in the lead. They've already got an inhibitor down here, and you know what? Mono really has no choice but to defend here. So Curse can just go ahead, take their time, take their own objectives, their own neutral creeps. The waves are just going to continue to push. We still have a tier 2 tower in top and bot. Top one's actually really low.
If I was Curse, I would actually go to top because not only is there blue up right now, but they can also take top tower and wait for Baron to spawn. As soon as Baron spawns, they can transition and force a fight outside Baron, or take Baron if Mono doesn't come. So it's a very, very easy game for Curse to play at this point.
We got a few members of Curse in the mid pushing the wave. We only had Paradoxical there to defend just for a minute, but they're going to go ahead and steal the blue buff, and they should be transitioning to take out the top tower pretty soon. And that's the thing, if you're so far ahead in the lead, you can go ahead and just steal so many enemy objectives. Mono can't really go in their own jungle
Basically,
safely.
What Curse wants to do is they want to fight Mono in the open. And Mono wants to catch Curse when they're split. So that's what they're looking for.
Look at all that ward coverage. Tons of ward coverage there.
This is a free Baron. I feel like Mono can't stop it.
And Curse, they may have started on Baron, but they know Mono's on the way. Nintendo being caught out a little bit, trying to get in. Paradoxical's out front. He's a little bit too far away from the rest of his team, and Baron has been defeated. Curse now in pursuit. We got Salon Pixel. We got the Shirelius pop. He has to flash away. Will he be able to get it? He just barely misses the tornado. In the meantime, we also have Crumbs and Nightjacket chasing down at Nintendo. He's just accepting his fate and going the other way. Sacrifice play to let Paradoxical live. And you know what? I think this may actually be the last push. I mean, there's not a whole lot Mono can do.
They should be able to hold it off a little bit, but I feel like it's inevitable. This is going to drop very, very soon. Once there's enough creep pressure mid, they're going to have to split. They are down Ribbon, so they can't engage either. So I feel like this is going to be a free tower, free inhib, and they can just rotate bottom if they want to play safe once again and take that bottom tower and then just 3 the head down and push slowly for the win.
Kick from Lee Sin just to dissuade Chris a little bit, but it's nothing doing. The tower will fall. The inhibitor will fall as well. Really quickly, courtesy of Jax getting that auto attack on. Mad Jackie's out in front. He's got the flash. You get the ult. 2 members of Mono caught in that Pixel and Zig go down immediately. Just going to go straight for the Nexus Towers. It should be game. We're still chasing Zyspar and goes back to spawn. But you know what? We have the minions here pushing 1 tower down. We got a 2nd tower down as well. The Nexus should be next. And this is GG. Curse. Oh, winning game 1 here. GG. So now this is currently working towards the late game. It was a little bit of passivity there. Throw something mid game, but you know what? They took their objectives. Smart team fights. Granted, Mono did get a few barons there. They continued their push. They continued the plan and managed to get the win.
Yeah.